and welcome back to my channel. I hope that each of you guys is enjoying this beautiful fall weather. As you may have noticed, my background is very different today, and that's because I am lucky enough to be the very first guest of honor staying in my sister and brother-in-law's beautiful, stunning, brand new renovated guest room in their house. So I'm really excited I'm staying over. I couldn't help taking you guys with me because honestly this is like the perfect cozy place to find yourself on an autumnal, I don't know if that's how you pronounce that word, on a beautiful autumn day like this. So I hope you enjoy. This video is going to be like pretty brief, but very exciting. It's very exciting to me personally, like extremely exciting, and I hope that it'll be like pretty exciting for you guys as well. You may have noticed that I have been talking a lot, or like not very much actually, rather like keeping in secret, two big projects that I was like working on and really focused on for a really long time. One of them is like the big thing that I've been working on with a co-founder. I kind of gave something away there. It's the thing that I spend most of my time working on, like all of my time working on. So that is like still in the making, so I won't talk about that until it's like time. I don't want to jinx anything. I want to talk about it when there's something to show for it. And then the second thing that I've been working on is the thing that I get to share with you today. When I was like probably halfway through like my YouTube channel, like I don't know, like halfway into like making videos on my YouTube channel, and kind of like possessed by this idea and completely fell in love with it, and like was just like wanted so badly to make it real and to realize it, and to like realize this, to like release this world that had been kind of like developing in my head, and that's why like I'm kind of like, to put things into perspective, like that's why I'm so incredibly excited to be sitting here right now in the present moment and sharing with you guys the fact that like I did it. Like I was able to not realize the vision, because the vision is like pretty vast, and who knows where, you know, what's gonna come of like this seed that I've like planted, but that's the point, is like I was able to like manifest the beginning, the early steps that will hopefully like I'll be able to kind of like carry into the future, to realize the actual vision that I was so in love with. So long story short, well actually this is not the whole story, this is just the introduction, Anastasia. Let's not run in circles around the subject any longer. Essentially I started a fashion brand. I don't know how, I can't even like speak the words, I don't know, I'm really excited, but it's called Air. Not air as in the air you breathe, but like heir to the throne. May that YouTube channel reference not be lost on anybody. Today, I hope that air can come to mean, you know, anybody that identifies with the brand and with whom, you know, the brand like philosophies really resonate. The early idea was that, you know, you guys are the heirs. You know, I kind of joke about my YouTube handle being like PrincessaAnastasiya, because I kind of like came up with it like sort of in jest, because I would get exasperated with like, not exasperated, I thought it was funny, but whenever I would meet somebody new and I would introduce myself and say like, hi, I'm Anastasia, like 90% of the reactions that I would get to that would be like, oh, like the princess. So that's kind of like why I like ended up making that my handle, because it's like that's the inevitable connection that people are gonna draw, so I was like, I'll just run with it. And like it also kind of encapsulated a lot of the like fairy tale, wintry, monochromatic, cold, wonderland like vibes that, I don't know, I wanted to associate with my channel. I wanted people to feel when they watch my videos. So anyway, that's where I landed. But then I couldn't, you know, something I learned in the process of like maintaining my channel was that I would oftentimes like share certain ways that I would view the world, or I would share certain ideas I had, and like certain observations or thoughts that I kind of fell in love with and wanted to share with you guys, and the response that I would receive would be like incredible. Like it was so inspiring, and just like wow, you know, all the things that you guys have like written to me over the years would like make me cry, and like made me just like, I don't know, it made me want to like keep going. But at a certain point, I guess, I would get a lot of messages where people would say, how do you live your life a certain way? I'm having like trouble kind of, you know, being able to, like, your videos resonate with me and these ideas resonate, but I'm having trouble actually living them and feeling them on a day-to-day. I'm having trouble seeing like the beauty in my life, or so on and so forth. And so like the idea was that I wanted to create something that could serve as like a token that you kind of put on, and is like a physical manifestation of those ideas, is a physical reminder to like feel powerful in your mind, and to feel powerful in the fact that you like belong in this universe and that it's yours, and everything you see, everything you love, you know, sunsets and puppies, and you know, the fall foliage, and you know, the way like water moves, you know, the way raindrops like ripple in a body of water. And I mean, I don't know, I'm having trouble coming up with like precise enough examples that capture the most incredible things the world has to offer on the spot right now, but you know, those were kind of like generic, but still, I mean, amazing nonetheless. But the point is, like, I wanted to make something that could be like a physical reminder that, you know, you were born into this world the same as anybody else, and it belongs to you, and you belong to it the same as anybody else, and to not feel like diminished by society or by the people around you. At its core, I really wanted to take those ideas, you know, the idea that you're powerful and you deserve the world, you know, you in being born into it, you inherited all of the most incredible things that exist in the world, because you know, you don't have to like possess something for it to be yours. You see it and it is yours. You know, once it's like one of my favorite quotes by Hemingway, where I've talked about this in like one of my older videos, but he's writing in a cafe, and this beautiful girl comes in, and he's like kind of distracted from his writing for a little bit, and he's kind of looking at her and saying like, I don't know who she's waiting for, I don't know if she's taken, it doesn't matter, because like I've seen her. And this sounds kind of like iffy when I describe it this way, but it's this, he kind of expressed this idea that like, I've seen you, beauty, and you belong to me now, and all of Paris belongs to me, and I belong to this notebook and this pencil. And that sounds a little iffy when like kind of taken out of context that way, but that idea resonated with me and stuck with me for like the entirety of my life after I first read it in I believe it was in A Movable Feast by Hemingway. Because it's this beautiful idea that you don't have to have like possession or power over something for it to be yours. Like, if you see something beautiful, you don't have to dominate it to make it yours. You've seen it, and in seeing it, you've committed it to memory forever, for as long as your memory will last you. So you see, you know, something that really strikes you that you want, and like there is peace in realizing that you don't have to have it for it to be yours. You've seen it, and it exists in your mind. Like, it exists in your imagination for as long as you want to keep it, sometimes longer than you do. I just think that's like a really beautiful thought to kind of hold dear to you and to remember, because you know, you see a beautiful sunset, and I feel like a very human response to it is to feel like melancholy, to feel sad because it's so beautiful and it's like greater than you, and you're kind of disconnected from it, and it's ephemeral, so it goes away, and you never like could capture the thing that moves you so strongly. And same with so many other things, like something moves you and you want to just grab it and squeeze it and make it yours, and you can't, and there's a lot of like dissonance in that feeling. And what I love so much about that Hemingway quote is that it like directly challenges that very human sort of response, and like helps you to realize like, no, you don't have to like have dominance over something to keep it in your head forever. Like, it will live in your mind forever. And in this way, like, you kind of realize that the world belongs to you. you know, you start to see beauty, and like it, I don't know, just like it colors your world in such magical ways, to be able to kind of look at things in that, with that perspective. And so I really wanted to create something that was like a tangible manifestation of like that idea of something that was like so seeped in that philosophy of like you inherit the world and the world belongs to you, so that, you know, it could become like a token, like a cult token of sorts, where, you know, it's because it's so physical, you put it on, you're like hopefully instantly reminded to kind of, you know, kind of switch your shift your perspective a little bit, and not forget, you know, those things that inspired you. So kind of to anchor all of those ideas and get a little bit more into like the specifics of the brand. So in its first incarnation, Air is a headwear brand. So the reason I decided to launch a headwear brand in particular is because I talk about how I wanted the product that I create to kind of inspire the wearer to feel certain psychological, like philosophical effects when they put it on. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like to me, I think there's something very psychological in like putting on a hat. It's different from like putting on a t-shirt. I mean, unless the t-shirt like has some sort of slogan that, you know, is very expressive of like something that you want to communicate. But, you know, with most articles of clothing, like you have a pair of jeans, you have a shirt, you have, you know, a scarf, and like they have different effects on you depending on what the outfit is that you create. But with hats, I feel like there is like, because it's not something that you wear every day, there's like an immediate awareness of it when you wear it, if that makes sense. Like personally, it's something that I found, and the feeling that it inspires, or the feeling that it evokes in me varies depending on the sort of hat that it is. But the feeling that I'm like aware that I'm wearing it stays no matter what hat I'm wearing, if that makes sense. You know, if it's a baseball cap, you know, I instantly feel a bit like I'm disguised, and I feel more effortless and cool, and I feel like I have the benefit of disguise. But I'm like very conscious of it when I wear it. It's not like a consciousness stemming from insecurity. It's not like you're uncomfortable so you're more conscious and more aware of something you're wearing. It's more like it kind of has the power to almost modify your identity. Subtly, like it's not changing who you are, but it kind of has the power to bring out or like push and pull various parts of your identity, or like almost create like an alter identity, like alter egos within you that you never really thought you had in you before. So like, you know, I would put on a snapback and feel like this like badass all of a sudden, where that might not be the way I would feel if I had just simply taken the hat off. Or, you know, with like fuzzy, wintry, white, snow white, pearly sort of hats, I would wear it and I would just instantly, I would feel like I would like be more appreciative of like the winter environments in which I found myself, because I was like, I felt like the influence kind of stemming from like my head into just like how I felt about like the day I was having. I don't know, it sounds a little silly, but I mean that's like the power of fashion, is like it can enhance or like detract from how you're feeling if you're comfortable or you feel really good in it. So while I think it can be true of clothing across the board, it's not always the case, because like you have clothing that's so comfortable it's almost invisible and you just forget, you know, like most of the time you forget what you're wearing unless it's really uncomfortable or like really extra. But with hats, like at least in my experience, it's something I found to be true like every single time, because you never really have that, you never really wear it so much, I guess, that like it becomes invisible. You're always aware that there's something on your head that typically isn't, unless you're somebody that wears like a hat every single day and it becomes just like the norm. That's, you know, why I was so drawn to the idea of making hats, because, you know, I figured what better article of clothing is there to like design as an expression of these ideas that I really wanted to share, and I wanted people to be able to kind of take home with them and to like carry with them and on them through their lives. I'm really passionate about, you know, striving to make sure that every single product that launches is able to exert a very positive influence on the state of mind of the wearer. So I want every product to be an embodiment of a certain state of mind. For every detail that surrounds its design and its manufacturing, to make it so that when the customer receives the product and when they wear it, it's a constant reminder of like a certain vision or a certain state of being that inspires them in like different ways, depending on what the product is. So I don't know, I'm really in love with this idea. Like, I don't know, I'm really like inspired and excited to kind of carry that through and to see it through. So that's the goal. But with that being said, there are obviously a lot of constraints and a lot of risk involved with like starting a venture like this. So I'm starting small. I'm launching with one inaugural product that's available for men's and women's, and it comes in 2 colors. You can guess which colors those are, and very predictable. But even with like starting with one product in the like not a full collection, you know, I learned so much, and like I worked so hard to kind of navigate all the challenges of you know what it means to create something from nothing, you know, and kind of, you know, how to navigate the like manufacturing industries and working with different suppliers, and like working with so many different moving pieces in order to do your best to create something that that hopefully somebody else will love, and that, you know, kind of lives up to the standards of what you have in your head, of like the idea of, you know, the beautiful thing that you want to create for somebody. There's so much that I want to share about that process, like so much I want to share about the journey that like I took like independently without knowing what I'm doing, and kind of trying to just figure things out, to kind of pursue this idea. And like there's so many mistakes I made along the way, there's so many like crazy things that happened, and like adventures and misadventures. I want to make a longer video where I actually talk about like all of everything that went into like making this product that you see on like a website, and all of the kind of like raw documentation of like factory visits and like supplier samples, and having to like do different iterations of things, and I don't know, just like that whole process, because it was like a pretty lengthy process. I've been working on this, just on this product for like months and months and months. Hopefully this is just the start, because like there's so many different, you know, products and beautiful things I want to create moving forward. So hopefully it's just the start, but I hope that some of you fall in love with Air and what I've been working on. I've tried really hard to make it, you know, something special. Please leave me any questions you have about anything I've talked about in this video, any questions you might have about that like experience of navigating the crazy waters called manufacturing. You know, any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns, please leave them down below, and I will answer them either in the comment section or in later videos. I want to do an unboxing video to kind of talk about all the ideas and design thinking behind the product and the packaging and the whole experience. I hope you guys are excited. I'm very excited. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I hope it's crisp and chilly, exquisite autumn wherever you are. It certainly is here, outside of my sister's house, so I'm gonna hopefully enjoy the rest of the day, but I love you very, very much, and I will talk to you in my next video.